On a cold November morning in 1874, halfway through the Victorian era, the 20-year-old Lady Randolph Churchill, then less than 7 months pregnant, was walking with a shooting party at Blenheim Palace. During the walk, she slipped and fell. A few days later, while riding in a pony carriage over rough ground, labour pains began. She was rushed back to the palace where, in the early hours of November the 30th, her son, Winston, was born. The magnificent Blenheim was the home of the baby's grandfather, the 7th Duke of Marlborough, descended from the distinguished soldier John Churchill, 1st Duke of Marlborough, commander of the coalition of armies that defeated France at the beginning of the 18th century. On his mother's side, the baby had an American lineage. His mother's father, Leonard Jerome, was a successful New York stockbroker, financier, and newspaper proprietor. A century earlier, his ancestors had fought in Washington's armies for the independence of the American colonies. Churchill's father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was the Member of Parliament for Woodstock. This small borough, of which Blenheim was a part, had scarcely 1,000 electors, and had always sent members of the ducal family, or their nominees, to Westminster. In 1877, Churchill's grandfather, the 7th Duke of Marlborough, was appointed Viceroy of Ireland. Lord Randolph went with him as his private secretary. The 2-year-old Winston travelled with his parents to Dublin, together with his nanny, Mrs. Everest. 50 years later, Churchill wrote of his mother, "She shone for me like the evening star. I loved her dearly, but at a distance." It was with his nanny that he found the affection his parents did not provide. "Mrs. Everest it was who looked after me and tended all my wants. It was to her I poured out my many troubles." In February 1880, Churchill's brother Jack was born. Shortly afterwards, the family returned to London. Holidays were mostly at Blenheim. It was from there, over New Year 1882, just after his 7th birthday, that Churchill's first surviving letter was written. "My dear Mamma," he wrote, "I hope you are quite well. I thank you very, very much for the beautiful presents. Those soldiers and flags and castle, they are so nice. It was so kind of you and dear Papa. I send you my love and a great many kisses. Your loving Winston." In the autumn of 1882, when he was 8, Churchill was told that he was to be sent to boarding school. "I was," he later wrote, "what grown-up people in their off-hand way called a troublesome boy."